Hi, my name is John Hunt, and this is my scholarly synthesis paper and presentation. My first slide is talking about my identity as a scholarly person. Um, as far as my identity, I would say a lot of it revolves around creating art, learning about art, learning the skills and trades of various kinds of art, such as art, um, including drawing and painting, and I've been taking a lot of classes around that. I personally have um, a style that I would classify it as abstract. Um, Moving on, I'm interested in philosophy, and I like writing on philosophical topics and reading about philosophy and different viewpoints and stuff like that. And I like taking a lot of classes that have to do with that. Photography, I like learning how to use different concepts and different tools on capturing images. And as far as photography goes, I'm more of a landscape photographer. I like nature and I like taking pictures of that. And then moving on to graphic design, I'm taking a lot of classes in graphic design. I'm planning to have my overall occupation or future occupation be based around graphic design. So that's a very important part of my scholarly identity. And along with me being in graphic design and a lot of graphic design classes, I also create a lot of digital art and have a large portfolio for um, as far as in the graphic design area. Moving on to my everyday hero is Alan Watts, and some things about him. He was born on January 6th, 1915, and died December 16th, 1973. He was born in London, and in 1951, as an invitation from Frederick Spielberg, he was a professor at Stanford University in the religion, in the religion professor of religion. He was invited by him, and he moved to San Francisco and decided to be a college professor at Stanford, specifically in the Academy of Asian Studies. Um, After teaching the Academy of Asian Studies for a while in San Francisco, he became the dean, and then he began to give regular radio talks on KPFA, the Berkeley free radio station, and in 1957 he began to publish his best-selling book, The Way of Zen. By the late 60s, he had become a counterculture celebrity and traveled widely to speak at universities and growth centers across the United States and Europe. Um, Continuing on Alan Watts's background history, overall he developed a very large portfolio through his life. An audio library of nearly 400 talks, and he wrote about 25 books during his lifetime, and that's rather impressive. And a lot of work gone into those things. Mostly, he was influenced by East Indian East Indian philosophies of Vedanta and Buddhism, and by Taoist thought, which is reflected in Zen poetry and the arts of China and Japan. He was rather exposed to that kind of stuff as a young man because he had an opportunity through his family to see and read some Asian culture. And after leaving the church, he never became a member of another organized religion, although he wrote and spoke extensively about Zen Buddhism, Hinduism, and Taoism. Now, all of this information that I talked about him tonight was from a website that was based around his work and dedicated to his life. As far as why I chose him as my everyday hero, I kind of had a hard time for choosing my everyday hero. But as far as Alan Watts goes, I always, after reading some of his books, and listening to some of his talks and discussions and lectures, online, there's a lot of aspects of good qualities and a lot of positive ideas, and he was just a very interesting professor, a very interesting person in general, and if anything, he's my everyday hero because um, in general he has always had a positive aspect to him. There's nothing negative that he had done in his life, at least that I know of, and if anything, I look up to that. I want to leave behind a not necessarily a legacy, but something positive behind, and he most certainly did. Moving on to my developmental tasks and current status as a student. Um, as far as my program, I want to make sure my program fits with the rest of my college career and the rest of um, basically my lifestyle and my personality. I want to make sure that it matches up with the overall future occupation that I want to get. The second conflict is making sure that I master design programming because those skills are super important for just overall my future occupation as a graphic designer. And also computer science classes and computer programming classes are also very important uh, skills to master in order to start making a website for myself. The third is making sure I do well in my classes as far as getting my GPA up and doing as much as I can and doing as well as I can in each class in order to succeed in college and obviously graduate, but obviously I would like to graduate with a high GPA. Self-reflection in the process of examining one's career choice. So my major has basically my plan is combining graphic design, marketing, business, engineering, computer science, and mass communications all into a 4-year degree at Winona State. I don't know if I can actually fit all of that in 4 years, but overall I'm optimistic about my career choice because I'm able to choose and pick the things that I feel like they will benefit me in the future as far as my future occupation goes. And I plan to be an entrepreneur and have a lot of freedom and obviously an entrepreneur has a lot of freedom for their actual career choice. Moving on to challenges in terms of multicultural awareness. This was kind of a hard one for me, but then once I figured it out, I knew where I was, what some of the challenges were. As far as an entrepreneur, I want to make sure that if I do start a company, it does not discriminate at all as far as ethnicity, race, sexual orientation, gender, religion, religious views. I don't want to discriminate against anyone for that. As far as graphic designers go with multicultural issues and awareness, they are basically, they have the power to get politically, socially, and the media involved in these types of issues and making them aware around the overall process and stuff like that. Basically, we have the power to spread ideas, especially if they're positive and they can impact potentially a lot of lives. Moving on to my current future goals in achieving a college degree. Obviously, I need to earn good grades. I need to be accepted in the graphic design program, and my plan is to minor in mass communications and computer science. I need to learn the skills necessary to run my own company, so obviously that, process ideal concepts for what exactly I want to create, graduate college obviously, and start the first stages of developing a country or a company. Going on from combining some of the material that we had in this class, The Luck is No Accident by John D. Crumboltz and Al Levin. There are about 9 things that I pulled from that book that actually I truly believe that totally support. Sorry if there's a cut in there. My camera turned off. But anyways, these aspects of luck is no accident. They actually are rather beneficial and very good advice. Um, Moving on, how being an educated person affects one socially, including family, financially, and professionally. Well, number one, I would say, personally, totally takes up a lot of time. Getting a college degree obviously takes work and time, so there's not a lot of freedom, and not a lot of time that basically for me to work on other side projects that I've given myself, as far as creating websites, expressing myself by creating art and writing and stuff like that. That's kind of hard to keep going while still in college. Obviously, getting a college degree to get a professional occupation is a major one. And also, college is obviously not free. It's rather expensive, so it actually puts a toll on me financially and also my parents. But overall, I believe that it's worth it, and hopefully it can get me to where I want to be in the future. And yeah, and that's my speech.